Just wait to see. There we go.
This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome everyone to the May 2022 Cataloging Special Interest Group of Koha-US. And this morning, Sunita is joining us and she has a question. Would you like to either unmute and ask it or ask it in the chat, Sunita? Whatever you'd like.
Okay. I will type in the chat box. Okay.
Sure. Whatever you feel comfortable with. And everyone who's here who's new, we're very informal. You can put your camera on or turn it off or whatever you like. There, we see you,
Hey,
Sunita.
Sunita.
Hi.
Hi. So I wanted to ask that if I change the password of the email ID, which we have, which the email trigger from the if we issue the books to student and the mail trigger that email ID. If I want to change the password, is there any problem in Koha?
The email triggers?
If we issue any books or return any book, the email trigger from Koha
Gosh.
to the user.
I don't have any
If I
experience with that.
If we change the password of the email ID, so is there any problem?
For what you're sending out, I don't think there would be. Can you whip up a spare or a backup copy and send a message to one or two people as a test? That's what I usually do.
No, sir. I have changed the password and the email. When I send email, it was stopped working.
Okay.
So, how is it possible to change my password, that email ID, which we send, which Koha send the email to the user when they issue the books, return the book, for reminder message with the email.
Right. This may be a question for the system administration group. Yeah. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know how to solve it.
Exactly. I'll put a link in the chat to the system administration group meeting and their group.
Or just send a message to the list at Koha-US. It's probably someone there knows more than we do.
Okay.
And totally off topic, but I've been hearing about the heat waves in India. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's good. But we are residing in Rajasthan, but it's too hot. Temperature crossed 40 degrees almost. So that is the problem.
Yeah. Here we go.
Thanks a lot.
Sure.
If we can't be more help.
Yeah, if the system administration group or the Koha-US email list can help you, please let us know how it goes.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Sure. I see that Julia's here and she had some questions before about, was it cartographic resources and maps?
Yes, that is what it was. And now, of course, the entire topic has fled my brain. So let me look back in my email and then I'll unmute and bring them up. Sorry.
No problem. No problem.
That so
recollection.
Well.
I was throwing you on the spot. I'll throw.
It's okay. I should have prepared.
No need. We're very informal. You can just say, no, everything's fine. Great. Fred is working on quite a project.
Yes, Fred with the assistance of Heather and Lauren. And it is going from an Excel spreadsheet to mark and then uploading it into Koha. And I started making a catalog of my books, and I don't remember what software it was, but it was back in 1991. And then it went into Paradox and then into good. Aly Rattler just said I have the same question. I may have an answer for you. And then Excel, and then I lost Excel, so I haven't updated it for a while, but I still have many thousands of records, each hand typed into a database of some sort. And what I'm starting out with is my cartoon book collection. Because I've been collecting those for a long time. And according to my database, I have about 1,200 of them uncatalogued. Those are the ones I've cataloged, and a lot more. So they were in spreadsheet format. So I used, first of all, the hard part was Heather and Lauren getting the right tags. For example, I had this silly idea that I was going to use the 100 tag until I was re-educated.
Well,
Yeah.
I simply was
No
saying
idea.
it's kind of an outdated concept. So it's, I think it's the least of your worries. Feel free to use 700, 710s, and 711s. They work in the electronic environment.
Yeah, I decided for now to forget about the difference between author and corporate author and conference. I compared it to the time I made gumbo. It took an awful lot of time, and it really wasn't worth the effort. I mean, it was good, but not worth sitting over the pot, stirring it to make the roux. I more jambalaya, throw everything in the pot, and wait a while. So this is jambalaya. It's not fancy. But then I was doing author editor, which Heather suggested it was the one 700E, I think. Eventually, I got everything figured out, except for each book, I have the almost each book, that format, which is hardcover and torn dust jacket, in dust jacket, mass market paperback, trade paperback. Also, let's see, the condition, and what else was it?
Where did you put condition?
Where?
Yes.
That's what I'm getting to. Because I really wanted all of those in.
Well, if I remember our discussion correctly, we talked about the fact that you can do item-specific notes in, for example, a 590 field or a 500 field with a subfield qualifier about the library or the copier. And that gives you lots of display space on the screen if you're really wordy. But if it's very brief, and I think you went with something like the 952 subfield Z, so it's in the item record.
Yeah, I really wanted it item specific. So I managed to put all those three things in a 952Z. Now, what you have to do is go into Koha and make 952Z repeatable.
In the framework.
Yes. Bruce, you're muted.
That's right. That's easy.
Yes.
The rest of it, not so much.
Well, figuring out that I could do that was
What, making a field repeatable?
yes. Actually, I already knew it.
That's actually pretty easy.
And also in Mark Edit, because I was using the delimited text translator. And you have to create the MRD file with this column goes to this tag, this one to this tag, and you have to be very specific. And you can't, when you're mapping, say the 952 something or other, or column to 1952Z, you have to say, this is repeatable. And you have to do that for everything that you map in the text translator.
And you have to join everything
Yes,
that
you
you
have-
want on that same 952. You have to join all of them together, or you end up with a lot of 952s that you didn't want, and you don't know how to merge together, and you don't know what you did wrong. Just
I smell some
think that
history
could
here.
happen to someone.
Yes, there is a bit of history. I actually got the definitive answer from Terry Reese on the Mark Edit list. So anyway, let's see. May I share my screen? I think I can.
Yes, please do. I'm going to put in the chat some links to the Mark format with information about these fields
yes,
we're chatting about.
The Library of Congress bibliographic format and is wonderful. Okay. Let me show you a couple of. That is my sort of original.
Nice.
Format. I have author, editor, title. I'm going to have a question about the Library of Congress card number or control number later. Maybe not today. Notice I put it in the 010Z because I don't know what to do about the dashes. This is the old number from the old database. Again, 035Z, obsolete, previous cataloging. ISBNs, you have to make it text, not number, because you're going to end up with a lot of the leading zeros gone.
That's a note whenever you're working in Excel and you do any kind of formatting. You need to I end up, because I can never remember what I used for, like, oh, I used the formula to do this. All right. I just copy all of it and then paste full text for all of it and then import it, because Mark Edit does not like the formatting in Excel. It has to all be text. I learned that. That's another thing I learned the hard way. I'm like, why isn't it working?
Yes.
And that's why it didn't work.
Okay. Oh, the other one I wanted to include in the 952Zs, whether I got it used or new or remainder. And I've been tracking this information for a long time. I don't want to lose it, even if I never actually do anything with it.
You're making my museum librarian heart glad.
I had to add the CM because Koha doesn't do that. Easiest way I found is just copy this entire column and do search and replace. Or in Word, you can look for the paragraph break and take paragraph break, search, replace with CM paragraph break. And then paste back in. You might have noticed, and if you've been following what I've been saying on Mark Edit and the cataloging list, I don't care about it being elegant. If it works, I'm going to do it. Let's see. I got mixed up on the current location. And are these case sensitive? The 942 to the item type?
Yes.
And okay, well, that
I
might...
learned that the hard way too. We had a library and it did not import the records. Like in the search results, it would show up as blank. And if you went in, opened the edit, and then saved it, it would put the right library. So we had to manually do batch edits for their entire library to assign the library, because I did it in lowercase instead of capital case. So that's another, don't do that mistake. I learned it for you.
Yeah, they're... There may be an easier way, just global search and replace, export it as Mark, then Mark edit, search for this, replace with that. Also, when I imported the cover price and purchase price in the 952 G and V fields, that didn't work because Koha decided that it was $952 G, $4.95. Figured if the G field was blank and it was the 952.4 field.
Ow.
So I ended up taking, or again, search and replace. Search for $G, replace $G. So these don't actually have dollar signs in the final version. Something to worry about later. Okay, what am I going to show you next? How about okay, so this is what things looked like. See the $V doesn't have a dollar sign.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where it gets really, really kludgy because I wanted a barcode and I wasn't sure how to do that. Well, actually, I sort of did. So I uploaded this file. Then I used the export feature to export all of the cartoon books. You can also do it by day. And then ran it through the Mark edit. This one, yeah, delimited text translator. So I got the 952 and the 999. And then I put all of this into a spreadsheet, copied the 999 and moved over a couple of columns and turned it into a, let's see, do I have this? Yes, 999. Here's the 952. Added $P10 because I don't think I'm ever going to get more than 100,000 books. And then in a text file, just looked for tab, $P10 tab, and replaced it with just $P10. And that's how I got my barcodes. Uploaded it again, ignored items, replaced barcodes. And now we have okay, I had everything ready except the final screen. Let's say
I'll just pitch in a little bit of background too. We had chatted about the fact that barcodes are nice if you ever want to do batch item editing.
yes. And and I really didn't want to paste a barcode in all my books because
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you understand. So here is the library. No, that is not the library. Here is the library. And I'm going to search for author, Charles Adams. And some of them have, let's see, covers, some don't. The gallery is sitting on the right side of my screen. Say my crowd, cartoon book. Really should say current library, but it doesn't. Don't know why. And Mark view. Oh, here we go. hardcover and torn dust jacket, pipe, new.
Nice.
So somehow between the time I got it and when I cataloged it, the cover got a little tear in it.
That looks great, Fred. And do I remember correctly that I think we're able to talk you into, and possibly Lauren also, making this into a presentation at the conference?
I'm hoping that we can.
It'd have to be video because I'm not going to be at the conference. I'm very bummed. I have to be in Texas at another
right.
conference the same week. I can't. Still
Well,
trying to find a way to be in both places at once, but I don't think it's going to happen.
My next step, and I don't know when I'm or if I'm going to do it, is get actual mark records with 600s and stuff like that and merge all those together. So I can do subject. Yeah. Oh, and
Authorities are a whole new ball of wax. Put them all in and then export and clean up your author, corporate author, all that, and fix your subjects and all that for all of them instead of just individual.
yes.
Unless you
And
do it every single time.
and what else? Goodness. Oh, and I discovered recently, at least Terry Reese said on the Mark Edit list, Library of Congress is not good for Z3950 because you can only do a certain number of searches at a time, which is why I get maybe 10 records and then it keeps rejecting everything at the speed of light. Ning.
Does that include like id.loc.gov or just the bibliographic records?
I've only tried it with Mark Edit and the Z3950.
Yeah,
search.
to the bibliographic.
So ideally, you can find everything, the Z3950 server. NLM is great. They don't have those restrictions. I have
I
to
use
find a few
40
more.
different servers. I got weird stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, somebody, not me, should add to the existing Z3950 server list, or ideally make it a Koha-US thing with types of collections you'd find there.
Yeah, that would be helpful. There is one list online, but it's old and there's a lot of dead links on it.
Yes, and is it possible to search for O&Os in Z3950 Library of Congress card number or control number?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I would think so.
I would think
Well,
so too, but I've been
But
having a
keep
hard
in
time.
mind, formatting of them is interesting. And yeah, and even if you were searching just in the normal Library of Congress catalog using that, do check out the link I put in chat to the O&O field on Mark 21, because formatting them is
Yes.
creative.
I think pre 2000 you have to take out the dash, and then I guess they're 12 digits now, and then pad them with zeros.
It varies depending on the year.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's pretty screwy.
that's my next
Mhm.
problem, because I have a lot of them with ISBNs, some with SBNs. I assume you just add a zero in front of that, but I don't know. Then
Yeah, I have to go check.
LCCNs, and then some with nothing.
Yeah.
And I seem to have taken up about half the meeting. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, Fred, thank you. It was very interesting. And, other people we're, Aly had the same question in the chat. This is something we all wrestle with at some point, I
Well,
think.
yeah, since you're a bunch of catalogers, I guess I can't.
Yes. We're your audience.
Yeah, these are my people.
That's right. We are your people. Hey, George, speaking of our
Hey,
people.
George.
I just put a link in the chat and I wanted to point it out to everybody. There was a discussion, or there is an open bug on Bugzilla. The idea would be to add Z3950 data to the MANA database. So if you don't know what MANA is, it's a centralized database where you can upload like magazine subscription patterns, serial subscription patterns, or the magazine frequency, when they come. And you can also upload SQL reports. But the suggestion has been made on this bug to add Z3950 data to MANA, which would make it really easy to export your Z3950 data to MANA, and really easy to import Z3950 data from MANA. But this bug has been open since 2021. And nobody has
Right,
really,
ma'am.
in the last
Say again?
year, it's only got like
I
a
do.
few
Oh,
responses. So if you put in there and say, we'd like to see this happen, it might get some activity.
And we're trying to get like a Wi-Fi signal.
Could it be something that Koha-US would sponsor?
I don't know. That'd be something to ask at a Koha-US meeting, like maybe next Wednesday. That'd
Possibly.
be something to talk to people at a meeting about. So I'm sure if every cataloger here showed up and said, hey, let's fund this, that maybe people would, and I'm sure people would pay attention if everybody showed up and say, hey, let's fund this. Here's, $25 to chip in to help do that. I'm sure we get even more traction. So
Quite possibly. I can't say could this include, because of course it can. I would like to put in a strong, I would like to urge that there be a field for type of collection, or what it's famous for.
I did I wrote the original ticket here, Fred, and I
Okay.
did put that would be a type of library would be good, language would be good, so that you could target things like just medical collections, just law collections, that sort of thing.
Or
think-
let's say some library somewhere has a really good cartoon book collection.
Or maritime.
Or heraldry.
Or heraldry and family history.
Yes.
I know that the existing stuff that there is on MANA, there's a place to leave comments. So I imagine that would be the way that,
Yeah.
that
And
the
it's
people that
really,
control MANA would want to do that, is to say, put that information in the comments.
exactly. And it's really handy for searching for what you want.
Yeah.
Much as I appreciate the crack about genealogy libraries, I think we need to be careful, because some people, while I've got a lot of genealogical stuff, and that's probably the bulk of my collection, it's not rare or unusual. What is unusual is some other categories. And it might be nice if we let the Z3950 library define themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Because what I think is important may not be what I'm best known for.
Yes, and that's
Yes.
something that, for example, when I'm sharing a report via MANA, is I put in an extensive description about, it's designed to do this because this is what was important to me to get out of it, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, backtracking just a little. I wanted to mention, Fred, the reason you're not seeing current location, it looks like you're missing the 952B field, which is current location.
Ah, yes. Yes, I didn't put that in. So. But it did show up, I think, on the staff end for some reason. Things appear and disappear in this catalog, and I really can't figure out why.
If you look at the format, look at the framework, you'll find that you can make visibility or invisibility different on staff versus public versus OPAC.
Yeah, I think I have everything visible. But I mean, in one upload with no change to the framework, it does this. Then I delete that.
Okay, no accounting for screwy.
Yeah, revert that. I've reverted so many things.
Well,
Might
and
wear
I
out.
think there's somewhere for
It's like-
column visibility.
Yeah.
It's like the first keys to wear out are a Control and Z.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. The table settings in administration,
Mhm.
that might also be influencing.
Yeah. Is that where you can say show this field, not show this field?
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
I added the I think withdrawn or lost or something status. I think it was 952.0 to our library catalog staff end. So yeah. Anyway, that's what I've been doing this week.
Fun. Well, does anybody else have any bugs or questions or comments, tips? Interesting cataloging?
Yeah, weird stuff. I got into magazines this week, and there are more magazines that start with monarchy, including 7 magazines where that's the entire title.
Are you adding qualifiers then to the, like a
Well,
uniform
yeah.
title with a qualifier? Ah, yes.
But I'm also, running out of voodoo pins to stick in various organizations' dolls. I'm about to the point where I want to outlaw the use of the term bulletin as a serial title.
You could use newsletter.
Yeah, journal.
Well, that's journals usually journal of, so I can get through that. I just have 14 character cutter numbers is all. Life does stay interesting.
It does. Well, I'll give it a few more minutes, see if anybody has anything else.
My favorite is probably a magazine called Monarchy. It starts out with 2 M's.
Nice.
Why?
Because it's different. And, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the genealogy magazines, which are notorious for this. There's one of them called Nitpicker. Yeah. Doesn't tell me what county, but it certainly stands out in the list.
Love it.
It's also the name of a yarn shop I'm aware of.
Oh, yes.
Nitpicker with a K.
A tightly knit community and a tighter bunch of knits I've never seen.
Often some fun knit wits.
Yep. Well, my sister-in-law used to have a yarn distribution business, and my wife did the mailing list for her, and the number of knit wits out there, every state of the union has got 2 or 3. No, I mean shops with that name. The number of individuals is much larger.
Proud knitter, wearing a library hand knit cardigan.
There you go.
Well, I think we can go ahead and end the recording. I don't know if I have the power to do that. Let's see.
You say
Nope.
both.